Hello, I'm Celia Craig and this is the Altaria Masterclass series. In this lesson 4, I want to start talking about some suitable repertoire that will help build good technique and keep your students interested. I'm using the syllabus from the Associated Board of the Rods Schools of Music, partly because that's the one in which I was brought up, and it's since been updated to include some really exciting new repertoire. This exercise, number 3, on page 5, is grade 2, and I've chosen it because it's designed to help you develop a beautiful legato in all the ranges of the oboe, right across from the low to the high notes. Now I'd like to talk about this piece a little bit. I played it at a performance tempo there, but it would be important to play it slower than this and to keep using your diaphragm so that you're supporting, taking a really good breath in first, and so that you're supporting the air all the way through the phrases. It's nicely written with little gaps so the phrases aren't too long, and in the gap you want to expel the air that you didn't use and breathe in some more. So I'm going to demonstrate the first phrase and the breathing at the end of it. So I want to talk about fingering and playing low notes and high notes, and they're quite different, really. This is the oboe's lowest note. It's bottom B flat, and you've made it by playing D, C, and the furthest away key, which is the B flat. These keys here are called the feathers. They look like feathers, I suppose, and the little finger has got a lot of keys to press in this case, which is another reason why this third finger must stay. If you keep that curled, then the little finger, this pinky, will be better able to reach these things. With a flat finger, it's really hard to reach, and this is an incredibly important piece of technique, not to have a flat third finger. So there we are. This finger's ready to play all these notes, and in this case, I'm pressing that one to play B flat. The key right next to it is B. And you'll see from that one that this finger had to be quite busy. I played the alternative left-hand E flat key then, D sharp in this case. It's the same as that key, but you have to do it when you're playing C sharp first. B, C sharp, D sharp, E. So those 2 5-finger exercises are really good to play. Those kind of squeaky noises, if you get that, that means your reed's too closed, or else maybe your mouth's too closed. If your teeth are getting too close together, you're sort of squeezing the reeds shut, and these are very unstable notes. If you're not careful, they will. So you don't, definitely, if you get that sound, you probably want to open your teeth a little bit more. So my mouth's quite open. And again, supporting, do you remember in one of the early episodes I showed you how to use a balloon and blow the balloon with your diaphragm? You need to use the diaphragm for those low notes for certain, in fact for every note on the oboe. So this is still a friendly, useful item, and a balloon. High notes can sometimes be problematic for people because maybe they're not using fast enough air. They need to have lots of air and lots of support, because if you don't, that's what happens if you're not supporting it properly. I was doing the right fingering, my C and my octave key, but without pushing through the air and using the diaphragm well enough, it comes out of tune. That's because it's not good technique. It's almost as if the air goes faster when you get up high. So supporting every note you play with using your diaphragm is just, it's quite hard work actually. It's quite hard work. So as you go higher, you want to support, you want to sing, you want to think about going high, is literally aim high and then you will play it nicely. So now I'm going to play the top octave of C major scale, starting from middle C and going up to the high notes. That way we can practice getting the high notes out with faster air. Good airspeed is needed and the support from the diaphragm, and then your top C will be in tune. Also, if you use an app like iReal Pro, that keeps you together with the fingering and also the tuning of a top C, because it's very important to know where to put it. Now I'm going to play a 2-octave chromatic scale from low C to high C. This is a very good scale to practice, and it's also really important to keep your fingers rounded, using the tips of the fingers and listening to the rhythm in this accompaniment, because that means that you'll be playing your fingers in rhythm. Good practice. So I like to do it like this. This piece, memorably titled Humdinger Hoedown, is also on the grade 2 syllabus for ABRSM, and I like it because for the oboe, pieces in G major are really good beginning pieces. You use the F sharp and not the F key, and so G major is really good for us, particularly because it would be marvellous to be playing in a band as soon as possible, but when you're a beginner oboist and you're playing in a band, you're dealing with the forked F to E flat situation, because you work with so many instruments that are in B flat. So you've got the clarinets and the saxophones and the trumpets, and so it means that the beginner oboists are dealing with this. So while I want people to play in ensembles as soon as possible, that's where using a Howarth Junior oboe would be a really good idea when you're early. So there's less weight on this hand when you're having to do that. But if you're an oboe student and you're learning your own repertoire, let's do pieces in G major for now, so that we're mainly doing that and we're not worrying about E flat. Humdinger Hoedown is a really fun little piece, and it's got a great accompaniment. Quite easy for the teacher, says me who can't play the piano very well, but I always try and play the accompaniments for these ones. And this is how the oboe part goes. That's a really cute little piece by Sarah Watts called Humdinger Hoedown, and I've discovered that all of my students like playing that, and the accompaniment is really silly. It's very good for your technique, and you have to tongue a lot of notes. It's a really good piece. All of the pieces in this book, Jazz FX for Oboe by Dave Gale, are really interesting. It teaches a little bit of swing as well, and I find it really appeals to children. The one we're going to do now, called Mission Incredible, is on grade 2 syllabus, but there's a duet version which I like to play with the students, and the same part is examined in a single part, and there's a CD accompaniment as well. So people don't feel as if they're playing completely on their own, isolated. They're having fun right from the start in grade 2. Here's Mission Incredible. It's also nice because it's in 5/4 as well, so it's something a little bit different, and it's teaching people to play with great support because they have to play loudly. So, good piece. So this was lesson 4, in which we started delving into interesting repertoire. It's really important to have repertoire that gets the imagination and at the same time is testing all the technical skills that you want to improve. So this is why I'm choosing some of these repertoires that I've described today. Really good fundamental technique coming in, and also keeps the interest, gets a bit of style. At the same time, alongside this, I'm always using my Bluetooth speaker and my iReal Pro app to play scales with the accompaniment, so that people are always listening to the octaves and whether their oboes are in tune, whether their general pitch is in tune, and whether the octaves stay in tune, and it makes it more fun as well. So I don't really like playing completely on one's own. I think it's really important to play and listen together all the time. So check out our other episodes. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you can stay tuned for more.